Got a freighter coming in slow. No signal.
Looks dead. Probably on autopilot. Could be salvage. Let's take a look.
We've got someone. Human female. Unconscious but stable.
Copy. Get her to medical. Put her in the tank.
We're also detecting a utility droid. Damaged but still active. And one more. Maybe protocol. No classification.
All right. Lock the droids down and put them into quarantine.
Awaken.
Still examining the survivors of the damaged freighter. Looks like it goes by the name of the Ebon Hawk. Only one survivor, placed in the KOTOR tank for recovery. The carbon scoring on the vessel suggests it was in a battle, but no indication of who fired on it. Couldn't get much from the Nava computer. I'm surprised the ship was able to make it inside the Peragus asteroid field without the asteroid drift charts. Aside from the lone survivor, we recovered an old woman. No life signs. There was also a protocol droid and a utility droid on board. Sent both down to maintenance while security sorts through the other items on the ship. It looks like the utility droid, a T3 unit, was able to get the ship working enough to get to the colony. We're prepared to... Could be a Jedi. But we won't know for sure until we get the transmission back from the Republic. If the survivor is a Jedi, that would account for the recovery rate. But I'm more concerned that a Jedi here may cause trouble. Some of the miners, especially KOTOR, are already Another accident today. A detonation in the ventilation tunnels. If the lockdown measures hadn't activated, the whole facility would have been destroyed. Got most of the injured to the KOTOR tanks in time, but the rest had to go to the morgue. One of the wounded said a droid caused the accident, but we couldn't get any specifics. Miners about the Jedi. A number of the droids have been acting oddly, and not even memory wipes seem to be fixing the problem. There was a detonation in another one of the fuel vents the droids were working in. We deactivated several of them and moved them down to maintenance. But we're still treating the plasma burns. That cuts us down to almost half shifts, and with the droids malfunctioning, we may not make the telos shipment for this month. Fortunately, the detonation didn't cause a lockdown.
Warning, there has been a fuel detonation in the mining tunnels. Emergency lockdown commencing. All personnel report to quarters and prepare for emergency venting countermeasures.
No! If the ventilation systems are malfunctioning, evacuate the medical bay! Everyone evacuate!
find what you're looking for amongst the dead?
Your voice. I heard it as I floated in the KOTOR tank.
Yes, I had hoped as much. I slept here too long and could not awaken. It may be I reached out unconsciously, and your mind must have been a willing one. Or perhaps you have been trained for such things.
So you can touch minds. And feign death. Who are you?
I am Kreia, and I am your rescuer, as you are mine.
Kreia. I'm Meetra.
Tell me, do you recall what happened?
Last thing I remember, I was on board a Republic ship, the Harbinger.
Your ship was attacked. You were the only survivor. A result of your Jedi training, no doubt.
How do you know I was a Jedi?
Your stance, your walk tells me you are a Jedi. Your walk is heavy. You carry something that weighs you down.
The Jedi Order and I. We have a troubled history.
So it would seem. Keep your past and let us focus on the now.
Very well. So what's going on? How did we get here?
I do not know. I was removed from the events of the world as I slept. A survey of the surroundings may provide the answers we seek. The ship we arrived in must still be in this place. We should recover it and leave.
I'm still trying to get my bearings. Are we in danger?
We were attacked once, and I fear our attackers will not give up the hunt so easily. Without transport, weapons, and information, they will find us easy prey indeed.
You seem nervous. Worried.
Even as I slept, I felt much unrest here. I saw strange visions, minds colored with fear. Now, everything here feels terribly silent. I would find out as much as you can about this place quickly. I fear we will need to depart as suddenly as we arrived.
When I awoke, the patients in the med bay were killed by a lethal dose of sedatives.
Why did they spare you?
I don't think that's what they intended. I got the same dose, but survived.
Indeed, a Jedi trance could protect one from such poisons. In fact, the sedatives may have been intended to keep you unconscious for some time. It would prove lethal to those untrained in such techniques, however. Most curious.
You seem to know a lot about Jedi techniques.
And so do you. Perhaps we could discuss it at length later on. Now we have other concerns, among them finding our new enemy.
We'll see. There's gotta be someone left alive around here.
You may wish to extend your search to some clothes, if only for proper first impressions.
I guess you're right. Are you well enough to travel?
I'm not offering to help you. I'm not so young as to leap from death's door as quickly as you. I leave you to the explorations of this place. Here I will remain and attempt to center myself.
Okay, that's fine. But are you gonna be all right?
I am recovering. Your concern is noted, but not necessary. Keep your mind on the present. I sense trouble here.
Stay safe. I'll be back soon.
I trust you will. Meetra.
Is this thing on? All right, all hands, especially you, KOTOR. Listen up, because I'm not gonna say this again. The next one of you Juma heads to try and smuggle a blaster, or so help me, any sort of military-grade frag weapons into my facility is gonna take a long walk out the airlock. Because in case you forgot, Peragian fuel explodes at high temperatures. So if I catch any of you with anything other than sonic charges or mining lasers, I'll burn you and your contract. Security out. And according to one of the miners, it was because one of the sonic charges went off prematurely. And like before, it was one set by a mining droid. The three idiots were grouped so close to the charge it might as well have been a grenade going off. The blast turned their bones to dust. The blast wrecked the internal components of the droid that set the charge, though, so we can't even dissect it to see what happened. I don't like what's going on here. Ever since that Jedi showed up, things are getting worse. It's not just KOTOR and his miners, or the fights, but now the droids are acting crazy. if we don't find what's causing this, or who, this facility's gonna be space dust by the time the next Telos freighter arrives. So, you're in maintenance. Then maybe you can tell me what's going on with these droids.
Sir, I don't know. It's like their behavior cores are undergoing binary decay, but I can't find the source. This shouldn't be happening.
Well, that's reassuring. It isn't happening. So the next time we nearly have a breach in the ventilation tunnels, I could just close my eyes and pretend it's my imagination. You better give me some answers. I want to know the damage these droids can do if they start mining us instead of asteroid rock.
Sir, these droids aren't combat models. Their mining lasers are weaker and less accurate than blasters. I doubt those droids could even hit one of us.
Are you blind? What about the miners in Medbay? It's sabotage, and it started right after the commander said we weren't going to sell the Jedi to the exchange. So I want you to find out how these droids are being sabotaged. That'll tell me who's trying to clear a path to get that Jedi off the facility and stop him. Clear?
Yes, sir. Maintenance control out.
Idiot.
Ah, you hear it. It is faint, but it is there.
Kreia. I sensed something. Close by. What is happening? I feel strange. Like the sedatives are wearing off.
It is the Force, you feel. It has not been so long as for you to forget.
It's like a sound, but it has been almost a decade. I had forgotten.
Do not turn away from it. Listen. Feel it echoing within you. Come. I shall guide you down the familiar paths. You will need it if we are to survive and escape this place. There is much energy in the room beyond, yet it stems from nothing that lives.
I can't. It's so intense.
Can you not sense them? Reach out. Cast aside your sight. Cast aside what you see, and instead reach out with your perceptions. Ah, you can feel them. The droids you cannot perceive, but the small oscillations of energy, that you can feel, echoing outwards. They are coming for you now. You must hide, quickly. Beyond this door, someone yet lives. Be mindful. His thoughts are difficult to read. But you have nothing to fear from this one, and he might yet prove useful.
Nice outfit. What, you miners change regulation uniforms while I've been in here?
You'd be wise to keep those eyes up. Tell me who you are.
Atton. Atton Rand. Excuse me if I don't shake hands. The field only causes mild electrical burns.
You're gonna have to tell me why you're locked up.
Security claimed I violated some trumped-up regulation or another. Take it up with them if you want. But they stopped listening to me shortly before they stopped feeding me. Now that's criminal.
What is this place?
Oh, you mean you didn't come here on purpose? This slice of paradise is the Peragus mining facility. the only supplier of shipping-grade engine fuel to this corner of the galaxy. Peragus fuel plays havoc with engines, but it gets the job done. As long as you don't mind the toxic byproducts and trying to mine it without blowing yourself up.
Blow yourself up? Care to elaborate?
Yeah, this asteroid belt is one giant minefield. One proton torpedo, even a stray blaster shot, can start an explosion that'll make the one that shattered Peragus 2 look like a kid's pop detonator.
How big of an explosion are we talking about?
You know the planet with the exposed core you saw flying in? That hole was caused by the first mining station that tried to siphon fuel off the planet. Blew a whole chunk out of the planet and set it drifting out here in a big clump of fuel-cooled asteroids. So the miners drill the asteroids now, not the planet's surface. That's why they don't allow blasters here. Can't trust a miner jumped up on Juma juice not to fire one stray shot that'll turn the entire colony into a thermal detonator.
This facility's deserted. What happened?
You mean before or after that Jedi showed up? Either way, it's a real short story. You see, this Jedi shows up, and you know what that means. Where there's one Jedi, the Republic will soon be crawling up your ion engine in no time. But the story gets better. See, some of the miners get it into their ferrocrete skulls that since the Jedi's unconscious, they can collect the bounty the exchange has posted for live Jedi. Well, what passes for the law here didn't like that idea. So the two groups started fighting. Then there was some big explosion. I was sitting here for a long time. Then you showed up in your underwear and things got a lot better.
There's a bounty on captured Jedi? Why?
Don't know much about it. Maybe the exchange wants one as a trophy, or somebody's got something against Jedi and is looking to collect. Not many Jedi left. Wouldn't surprise me if the bounty's pretty high.
The Jedi. What happened to them?
The ones that weren't killed in the Jedi Civil War ended up switching off the lightsabers long ago. Word is there's not even a Jedi Council anymore, but who knows?
Was it caused by the Mandalorian Wars?
Yeah, Revan, Malak, and the Jedi that went to join them in the Mandalorian Wars. They turned against the other Jedi and had a scrap that almost laid waste to the galaxy. Where have you been?
I've been away since the Mandalorian Wars.
Well, I wasn't there, but like all Sith, Revan and Malak turned on each other. After they turned on the Jedi, of course.
I was led to believe that Revan saved the Jedi and the Republic.
I guess. There's rumors all over space about it. All I heard was Revan returned to pay Malak back for trying to kill her in the first place. You know women.
How long have you been in that cage? Revan was a man, not a woman.
Maybe you're right. Maybe I just hoped Revan was a woman.
This discussion about Revan is pointless. I need to know what happened here.
Look, not like your half-naked interrogation isn't a personal fantasy of mine, but... Hey, wait a minute. You're that Jedi the miners were talking about. Where is everybody?
I don't know. Seems like this place has been abandoned for a while. Don't you know what happened to them?
From my beautiful view in this security cage? Look, I heard some explosions, some emergency alarms, some toxic gas pouring out of the vents. Maybe none of them survived whatever happened. And if they're all gone... Look, hey, let me out and I can help you. I can. I've gotten out of trouble countless times.
You were locked up for a reason, Atton.
It was a misunderstanding. Trumped-up charges. I could clear it up if I could just speak to somebody in charge, but seems to be no chance of that happening. Unless you let me out.
Tell me your plan, and we can go from there. How can you help?
This facility isn't a military installation, which means we may have a chance. You shut down this cell security field, and I can reroute the emergency system so we can get to the hangars. We grab a ship, and then we fly out of here.
All right, I'll switch off the cage. But remember, I'm watching you, so don't try anything funny.
Great. Now to business. Let's get to the command console.
Let's go.
All right, here we are. Now this console is set on automatic hail. You may have heard it when you came in. The asteroid drift charts are constantly being updated, so it sends out a transmission to incoming vessels so they don't get crushed into space dust. The hail warns them to keep their distance until orbital drift charts are transmitted, and then provides docking instructions to incoming ships, usually freighters. Thing is, you can bounce that same transmission back to the comm here, and suddenly you've got access to the communication system from the inside. Pure Pazak. The console's ours. Now, all we need to do is reactivate the turbo lifts, cancel the emergency lockdown. Hey!
What's wrong?
This system's been severed from the main hub, after it was locked down from remote. You can't even reroute the system, it's been cut clean.
That wouldn't be standard procedure in an emergency lockdown.
No. Someone tried to lock down this whole level tight, and leave us here. Trapped.
Is there anything else we can do with this console?
I doubt it. All we have is communications back. For all the good trying to shout in a vacuum will do us.
Can we contact the miners?
We could try. But if the miners were trying to trap you up here and probably kill you, why not call them and chat? I don't think a friendly call is going to wake them up.
Maybe there's something logged in the terminal that can give us some answers.
Be my guest. Not much else we can do. The comm's all yours.
Is anyone there? Can anyone read me? Hi there. Are you operational? We're trapped up on the administration level. Do you think you can unlock the turbo lifts? Then is there some other way out of here besides the turbo lifts? Well, I'd rather risk it than be trapped up here. Let's give it a try.
Have I interrupted something?